you ready to hear a story?
Kia ora, everyone. Thanks for the intro, Ivy. Ka pai tō mahi. You did great. Today's story is called Waldo Rescues Gerald by Nigel Blakey. It's about a rescue helicopter pilot named Waldo who helps people and animals out of tricky situations. Let's get started. Waldo is a helicopter pilot who lives on an island way out in the deep blue sea. The island is surrounded by sandy beaches with palm trees and fruit trees of all kinds. Flying around in the clear blue sky are parrots that are all the colours of the rainbow. There's a volcano in the shape of an upside-down ice cream cone right in the middle of Waldo's island. It rises so high in the sky that sometimes clouds cover the top. Waldo has 3 helicopters on his island: Huey Heavy Lift, Sam Superfast, and the Little General. Waldo loves to help people, they just have to call him on the phone. One day there was a very happy giraffe called Gerald who lived at the zoo. But today he was very sad because last night a strong wind had blown the roof off his giraffe house. Gerald liked his house the way it was. It was just the right size for him. He didn't have to duck his head when he walked through the doorway, and it was close to all his friends at the zoo. He had a nice big green and grassy field to walk around in, and he could talk to his friends over the high fence that went all around his yard. But now he would get soaking wet if it rained. "We'll have to have a new roof put on your house today," said Jill, one of Gerald's keepers. "How would you like to go to the beach while your house is getting a new roof?" she said, standing on her tiptoes.
"You bet I would,"
exclaimed Gerald. He was so excited that his ears stuck straight out. He'd never been to the beach before, but had heard people talking about it, and it sounded wonderful. Bill, Gerald's other keeper, unlocked Gerald's yard gate to let him out.
"Be a good giraffe and just walk up the ramp into your travel box, Gerald, and we'll be off to the beach."
The sun hung lazily in the sky like a hot orange beach ball as the truck drove out of the zoo gates and zoomed along down the motorway.
"I am really looking forward to going to the beach,"
Gerald said to himself as he travelled downtown with his keepers. The big buildings in town were even taller than Gerald. They stretched right up into the sky and had many windows. One of the tall buildings had a clock right on the very top of it. The clock had a big smile on its face and waved its hands at Gerald as its truck went by. The truck turned onto the road at the waterfront, and Gerald could see boats of all different sizes and colours. Bill, Jill, and Gerald passed the place where the seaplanes were taking off across the water, taking people to some of the small islands that Gerald could see a long way off. A small plane flew overhead. Gerald looked up and thought sadly,
"I wonder what it's like to fly. I'd like to try it, but I guess I'm too tall to fit in a plane."
Soon Bill, Jill, and Gerald were driving out in the country in the clean, fresh air. On either side of the road were cows eating the lush green grass.
"Hello,"
called Gerald as they drove by.
"Hello,"
answered the cows. There was a stream with 4 ducks swimming and splashing around in it. A small white fluffy animal at the water's edge looked up at the sound of the truck.
"I wonder what it is,"
thought Gerald.
"Hello,"
he called out. "Hello," replied the fluffy white animal. The truck turned onto a narrow dirt road, which was the road that led to the beach. The trees on both sides hung down so low that Gerald had to dodge them. The truck drove across a small bridge over the stream. Suddenly there was a loud crash, bang, and Gerald nearly fell over as Bill suddenly slammed on the brakes. "What was that?" Bill and Jill said at the same time, their eyes wide with surprise. "Look, Bill," said Jill, pointing behind them, "the bridge has collapsed."